Most people ask, what will happen? A better question is, what gives me options if I am wrong? The future is too complex to predict perfectly. That is why optionality matters more than prediction. Most people want certainty. They want to know which asset will win, which country will be safe, which currency will survive, which technology will dominate, which crisis will happen, which crisis will not. But the world does not give clean answers. It gives probabilities, surprises, contradictions, false starts, unexpected winners, and events that seemed impossible until they happened. That is why the best strategy is not always to predict better. Sometimes it is to need prediction less. That is optionality. Optionality means you are not trapped. You have places to go, assets you can use, skills that matter, relationships you can rely on, jurisdictions you can access, income streams that are not all tied to one system, a life that can bend without breaking. This is very different from trying to forecast the future. A forecast says, I think this will happen. Optionality says, I might be wrong, so I want more choices. That is a more humble strategy. It's also more resilient. Think about land. A purely speculative land purchase is a bet. You buy and hope someone pays more later. That can work. But useful land is different. Useful land can create options. It can become a retreat, a farm, a food system, a water system, a place for guests, a place for community, a place for family, a second base, a business, a location outside your primary country, a platform for experiments. That is why land can be more than an investment. It can be an option on many futures. If tourism grows, it can host retreats. If remote work expands, it can become a destination. If food prices rise, it can produce food. If cities become less attractive, it can become a second base. If people crave community, it can become a gathering place. If the world stays stable, it can still be beautiful and useful. If the world becomes less stable, it becomes more important. That is the type of asset Base 2 is interested in. Not land as a dead parcel, land as optionality. The same logic applies to community. A community is not only valuable in a crisis, it is valuable in normal life. People learn together, build together, invest together, visit together, share knowledge, find deals, create trust. Then, if conditions worsen, that same community becomes even more valuable. Good optionality works in normal times and hard times. That is the test. A bad hedge only pays off in one disaster. A good hedge improves your life even if the disaster never arrives. This is the difference between fear and design. Fear asks, what if everything goes wrong? Design asks, what can I build that remains useful if many different things happen? That is the Base 2 mindset. We are not trying to predict one future. We are trying to build assets that remain useful across many futures. A useful asset is not only something that rises in price, it is something that gives you choices when choices become scarce. This is not a prediction and it's not fear marketing. It's a stress test. Which assets still matter when the model breaks? That is the kind of question Base 2 studies inside the Telegram community.